Wagwan. That means what's happening in Jamaican. This is Nadine coming to you with an episode where I'll be sharing with you the 5 top benefits of Yoga Nidra. So, half of the world is suffering from some degree of insomnia. Our brains are overactive. The number one benefit of Yoga Nidra is to assist to quiet the overactive brain, where we have information overload, so that we can rest. This is linked to the second benefit of enhancing our creativity and inviting innovation, because creativity and innovation cannot enter a busy mind. Many of the products on the market that you will be exposed to in terms of enhancing sleep actually are incomplete. And I say they're incomplete because they miss this gift of Yoga Nidra, where by stilling your mind, you create the space for creativity and for innovative ideas to enter your thought process. As you work with Yoga Nidra over a period of time, you will discover that you can sit for just 5 minutes, and by becoming completely still, you have created the space to harmonize yourself. Perhaps one of the greatest benefits of this, all of them are great, I keep saying that, all of them are great, but is the rejuvenation of the physical body. Too often, too many of us in the world are running to over-the-counter medication to solve issues that we can solve by just simply intentionally relaxing. Things like migraine headaches, things like sinus issues, things like sitting and looking at a screen all day long. For chronic pain, lower back pain, knee pains, all sorts of aches and pains. When you start to relax your body, you will notice that the level of these pains will decrease and quite possibly may even disappear. Why? A lot of the pain that we hold in the body is actually tension. We're tightened up. We're driving. We're holding the steering wheel. We're over our computers. Our shoulders are up at our ears. We're on the phone. The neck is jutting forward. If you practice Yoga Nidra lying down, you can support all of these parts of the body. For example, you may put pillows underneath your knees. If you have a neck issue or a sinus issue, you may support the neck. And so by supporting the body in the practice, you're able to give the body a moment to actually relax. New thought and ideas cannot penetrate a busy mind. Another benefit of practicing Yoga Nidra is that by quieting your mind, you create the space for new ideas to drop in. Ideas that might not necessarily have found a way to enter because there was so much busyness taking place. There's a wonderful saying that all philosophies have: be still and know. When we are in a place of stillness, ideas find us. We don't have to go running after those ideas. As you practice Yoga Nidra, focus on practicing the practice for the sake of practicing. In a world where we tend to be very achievement and goal oriented, Yoga Nidra is not the practice where you're going to go, okay, I need to land this client, so let me lie down for 20 minutes and divinely it's going to drop in. It may, but you don't enter the practice with that intention, because it might come to you at another point. It might not happen while you're in the practice, but what happens is you're calm enough that you can think straight, you can think clearly. When I was first introduced to Yoga Nidra over 10 years ago, I was humbled by its powerful benefits. At that time, I had a high-stress job and I suffered from what laypersons called anxiety attacks. The medical professional wanted to put me on medication, and I discovered after my first experience of Yoga Nidra with a yoga teacher that through the breath and stillness, I was able to calm my pulsing heart, the flip-flop of the belly, the wobbling knees. peace. We have a lot of information coming at us in this time. Perhaps you're worried about job security, you're worried about your family. We're all living in a state of chronic stress and anxiety. The practice of Yoga Nidra will help to bring you back to your center, to your presence, to your right here and now. As I often share with my clients, anxiety lives in the future. Depression lives in the past. A practice of Yoga Nidra brings you fully into the present, and in the present, in this moment, right now, all is well. In the practice of Yoga Nidra, you may fall asleep. And if you do fall asleep, chances are your body needed the rest. So allow yourself to enjoy this sweet slumber that you have created for yourself. Yoga Nidra can also be incredibly supportive in handling emotional issues and unresolved trauma. Many of us that are dealing with trauma, there's a feeling of not being safe. Not being safe physically, not being safe emotionally. Trauma, in layperson's definition, is an incident that occurs at the time you do not have the emotional language or vocabulary to articulate that incident. The incident then gets trapped in the body, and at some unexpected time, it presents itself. Something may trigger you. A song, a sound, a color, a name. In those moments where we are triggered and not feeling safe, a practice of Yoga Nidra can effectively reintegrate us within our body, moving us from flight and fright mode back into the body, back into presence, back into awareness. So while the practice may not necessarily solve these issues, what it absolutely can do is to support you as you go through the process of dealing with unresolved emotional issues as well as trauma. Ultimately, as you deepen in your practice of Yoga Nidra, you will enjoy an accelerated or an enhanced level of consciousness. What do I mean by this? The more self-aware you are is the more conscious you become. When you are more conscious, you are able to make different choices for yourself and for your life. And ultimately, these are going to be choices that enhance your sense of self, your self-actualization, and your well-being. So Yoga Nidra offers a win-win at every level. Thank you so much for being here. It has been an absolute joy to connect with you on one of my favorite practices. I trust that you will enjoy the practice, start to notice the shifts that the practice has on your life, on how you sleep, on how you're developing your projects, on how deeper connected you feel to yourself and your life. I cannot wait to reconnect with you on another episode. Thank you.